This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Turtles of Grayskull Mousejaw figure, evil and armed with Mouser. The packaging kind of throws us into an oozy looking sewer area, which I'm kind of wondering if maybe this may help us get the slime pit in Masters of the Universe. They could use the same base and just put a different top on it to do Krang. They really wanted to get goofy, they could put the toilet that they used in the 80s toys. Also starts coming with a Build-A-Figure. There are 4 deluxes that are going to be out there with separate parts. 2 of them are supposed to be with Target and 2 of them with Walmart, which means it's going to be absolute hell trying to get those parts. We got some nice artwork on the side. We got some other artwork on the side. What's kind of interesting to note is that instead of having his usual gun at the end, they're just using the end like a gun. On the back, we have a picture of him in the gateway of Castle Grayskull, fighting Leonardo and Teela. And once again, I really want that Teela to show up soon. This is also very much in homage of Trapjaw's original mini-comic appearance, which I will add a picture of that here, because I do have that somewhere. Let's go ahead and open them up, shall we? Oh, look at that. Instructions are on the side of the box. I wonder if that means he won't come with the usual set of information. I think I may have found my background for these figures. This is not a mini comic. Let's look at this real quick. Alright, so we got a picture of Trapjaw with his Mouser. And on the back, we have some more information. I honestly would rather have had a mini comic with this information like they've been doing with the WWE Universe ones. So anyway, Mousejaw, evil and armed with Mouser. Mutagen master powers. Trapjaw, endless array of weapons. Powerful razor-sharp jaw. Cybernetic strength. Mouser, turtle hunting technology, attack in unstoppable numbers, shell crushing jaws. By the way, it says turtle hunting technology, but the Mouser was actually designed to kill mice and rats, so that would have made a little bit more sense. Granted, I understand that this is still supposed to be, you know, the Ninja Turtles, mostly, though we are supposed to be in a Splinter, apparently. I don't mind the information card here, and it's actually feels like it's on better stock than the cardboard that they're using for both the backing boards and the boxes. Very similar to what they gave us with the 3 packs for the Rulers of the Sun, but still. I like my mini comic stories. And of course, we have this here with his information. So let's go ahead and pop him out, shall we? Let's start with the Mouser. So I'm just going to say, I still am kind of disappointed that they didn't give us multiple Mousers with him. Maybe they'll make a multiple pack of them at some point, but I doubt it. Because even Super 7 that made like a 5-pack, those keep on going on clearance. Not that Super 7 stuff doesn't keep going on clearance by itself, but you know what I mean. The jaw is articulated. He does have a blast effect area, so the entire head can kind of move a bit here. We got a spin. We got a thrusting action. So if the Mouser's like this, you can't use that other thing. But if it's open, you can attach a blast effect. It's actually really similar to the one that came with Stridor. Only Stridor's had the part that attached onto the outside, and this attaches inside. And of course, it's too heavy. So aside from the head articulation, the legs do move up and down a little bit here. But the feet do not move at all, even though they look like they're designed to. And there's even, I mean, you could have put hinges all over here, but they didn't. And the little tail doesn't do anything. But, I mean, you can still get some, poses out of it. Here, sniffing the ground. Attack mode. Although, again, that's kind of a disappointment that you can't, like, it would have been nice if you could have gotten some walking poses, some good walking poses out of this. So, that's a disappointment. And, of course, Angry Mouser. Go Foom. Again. All right. That was a pain in the butt. All right, so let's set our brother here aside for the moment. That's, Okay. So let's just go take a quick look at this. So this is the extra parts for, what do they call them? Metal Bato. So that would be the combination of Roboto and Metalhead. So he's got his hand, the arm. There's a spot to connect stuff into there if you want, which I'm not gonna lie, I think it's kind of silly. What he does have, though, too, is this little connector here, because with the way this is designed, you're not going to be able to put these on there. So we've got this to use with the weaponry. Now, I know everybody basically, every time you see pictures of this, we're always seeing them put them in Trapjaw. But, I mean, it's obviously, coloring-wise, these weapons are expected to go with Metal Bato. And there are lots of spots to stick them. I think this, I don't know. I think this looks kind of goofy, being able to do that. And you still can't really. It's not like it holds all of, although I guess if the other arm is done the same way, you could hold all of his weapons and gear on the two arms if you want. But I wonder where you would hold that on it. Whoops. But in like a year, when we finally get all the deluxe figures out, or can find them at Walmart, because, I don't think anybody expects that to be an easy task, we'll have to take a better look at that. Now, again, we have our little blast effect here that plugs right into Trapjaw, and standing on a base, he can hold it out nice and easily. But let's go ahead and look over our figure and his articulation. He does have an articulated jaw like previous Trapjaws have had, and it's redesigned to go with the Mouser aesthetic, which is pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of the coloring on this figure, though, if I'm being perfectly honest. The head can spin around, ball joint, rotate, all that fun stuff. He's got pupils. This time they decided to cover his eyebrows so they could get away with not painting the eyebrows on and not have it look stupid. At least that's my thought on that one. His arm has, of course, the usual articulation, up, sort of, being hindered by both the armor and the design of that arm. He can spin his head to smack himself in the face. Again, probably because of the design. He has a single joint in the elbow here. And, of course, at the elbow we can spin a little. No hand there, so we'll go take a look at the other arm. The other arm definitely goes out further. Comes down, spins around, does not hit himself in the face. Elbow hinge, spin on the hand, and of course it can be an out articulation. He spins at the waist, not hindered by his armor or his belt. We can kick up yay far, kick back yay far. The knee does a a hinge, and of course a spin. We can kick out like that if we want. Single joint at the knee. There is of course, a hinge here, but it is hindered by the design of the bottom of the foot. And obviously, again, because of this design here, you can't really use the spin part very well either. His belt is, of course, designed to... Let's get him on a stand again before we go too far. So that whole point with Mouse Jaw is that he can hold the mouser as a weapon. So the legs pop off. They go on his belt. Oh, shit. There is actually a hinge in there. Or a peg. I did not know. You know, you guys all saw me mess with that, and it didn't work when I did that. Yet now it does. And is it just me, or does the mouser kind of remind you of Snoopy? Of course, at this point now, you've kind of overbalanced him to where you have to lean him back in order for him to keep standing. But that's supposed to be the whole trick with Mouse Jaw here, is that he can attach the mouser to the end of his arm. And there is absolutely nothing that looks right about that at all. Oh my God. So, display-wise, I don't think I'm going to be doing this. I'm definitely going to keep him with the mouser legs. All right, so be aware that the joints here are very loose until you mess with them enough for them to, not very loose, are very tight until you mess with them enough to loosen them up. But hey, that does mean now we can attempt to make it look like it's walking. At least, kind of. A little bit. Don't you just love how I find out articulation after the fact? See, this is what happens when I don't watch other people reviewing figures before I start touching stuff. Anyway, as we know, Trapjaw does come apart. And it does look like he does have the same hinge joint on the arms. And I think that means that both the armor and I think this does affect it. But let's go ahead and just for the fun of it. Yeah, jeez. Oh, there we go. That's a position where he won't hinder anything. His armor's got a pretty unique design to it too. So body-wise, his torso, mid part, and upper legs are for sure all old school Origins parts, as is his arm. I am pretty sure that this is also original for Origins. His feet, however, his head, and his equipment are all new for this figure, which is, I'm glad they put that much effort into it. I'm not sure this is my favorite design though. Said, I like the concept of Turtles and Masters of the Universe together, but at the same time, some of these designs just seem kind of goofy to me, and I'm a bit curious as to how they're going to explain that Krang's ooze combines people with cybernetic technology. Because, you know, in the past, the ooze has combined organic compounds together, not metal compounds. But I am thinking, as far as display purposes go, this is probably the way to go. Overall, I will say that I do like the look of the figure. Like I said, it's not my favorite kind of design. I know that there was a few years ago, back during Classics, I believe it was, there was going to be an attempt to do a Ninja Turtles He-Man crossover, and the designs for that were just beautiful, and I wish they had kept with that. Although I have to admit, the Tila armor does look really good from the artwork that we've seen, so I am looking forward to that. If you want, you can still use the metal bottle parts on Trapjaw, but just remember that when the rest of this comes out, probably in a year and a bunch of hunting, because Walmart is really crappy about their exclusives, as anybody who's been collecting MOTU can tell you. I know there are still people who have not been able to find Moss Man in stores, although I think he has finally started to pop up online more regularly. I know it took almost a year before I was able to find the flocked version of Panther at Walmart. So hopefully this isn't quite as bad, since it's a Build-A-Figure. Thanks, Mattel, for that. I hope you enjoyed this. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I definitely would like to know what you think about the combination here for Trapjaw. Peace and love. I just kind of wanted to add, honestly, the more I look at Trapjaw's face, this version, the dorkier it kind of looks to me. Like, he does not look quite as menacing as the original version of Trapjaw does. Just saying.